It's kids just
No, we
keep
don't.
me crying.
It's not
Yes, I'm sure.
So TJ, you gonna take over the people as part of?
And I'm like, my daughter, she's doing really good.
All right, 7 o'clock. We'll call this regular city council meeting to order. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, roll call, please.
Alderwoman Haderlein. Present. Schulz. Lavallee.
Here.
Carncross.
Present.
Lancaster.
Here.
Gorman.
Here.
Perkins.
Present.
Here. Quorum is present, Mayor.
Thank you, Clerk. At this time, we open the floor for anyone that wishes to address City Council for any item not on the agenda. If you have something that you want to speak that's on the agenda, we will allow you to speak at that time. Okay, if you could please state your name and address for the record. Okay.
Can you lean a little further into the mic? Yeah.
There you go.
Am I good now? Do I just give them to you guys?
Thanks.
Just for our records, can you repeat your name and address?
My name is David Headley, and I'm from Aurora, Illinois.
Okay, David.
So I'm a representative of Painters District Council 30, and I want to talk about the concerns I have with McGuire and doing the work on the water tower. With the different rules and regulations that are out there, I can tell you that most of the time they do not meet those requirements. In front of you have actual sheets that show what I was talking about, prevailing wage, being a responsible bidder, and what they need to be as a responsible bidder. With the Illinois Preference Act, with the unemployment rate going up, once it hits 5%, you need to make sure that you employ Illinois people, and being out of South Dakota, most of the time what they do is they subcontract a different company to come in and paint the tower, and then they are no longer required to meet the standards because the person that the subcontract has to. And a lot of times they do not meet that requirement. With the IEPA that we have, the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency, they should have the CAS Level 1, the SSC, and the NACE certifications by doing your water tower. Everybody that's employed should do that and have that certification, not just one guy, not just two guys. Every man should have that certification. And that's the law that they put in, the state of Illinois put in for us to make sure that everybody was in compliance so we don't get the Flint, Michigans and everything else that, has conspired, just like just down the road in LaGrange, they have to redo that whole water tower down there because it was done wrong. The other thing is that I talk about responsible bidder. Responsible bidder means that they are responsible for what they bid upon and what they are required to do. And a lot of times they don't meet requirements. The facts that you have in front of you are actual facts. And I was there when that young man fell. OSHA called us. We went down there, inspected, and they didn't have any of the right stuff in place. When I talked to the foreman, he said, I'm not paying for that. And so that 19-year-old boy fell 100 feet, so he'll never work again. And so then the other thing is that the public funding that you guys are putting out there, I like our local people to do the work. We have local contractors. This isn't a Republican, Democrat, union, non-union. It's about our local people. Coming from South Dakota, I'm not a fan of that for me and for our company we represent. And the other thing, I would make sure that they meet the standard PA2, which if they're going to do this, then that means that there's a dry film thickness gauge inspection for every 100 square feet. You need to do 15 test spots, and that 15 test spots, each one has to meet a certain mill, so it's 5 mills that has to meet that requirement. So that's something that gets done. If you're doing a long-term 10-year, maintenance, every year it's called a holiday test. and they do a sponge test, and they have to take that sponge and do it all the way around every square foot of that tank, every part. And if it reads 20 mil and below, then you have to start looking at the different things. If it reads high, if it's above 20 mil, then you got to look at what they can do to redo it. So that's all I got to say. I'm speaking on behalf of my local contractors and the local people of Illinois. I would like to make sure that you guys don't go through what other towns have gone through and that I have been a part of. That's all I got.
All right, thank you so much for your,
Thank you.
Your presentation. We will send that off to the appropriate committee for review. Is there anyone else wishes to address City Council? Hearing none, we'll move on to item number 4, which is Transportation Committee meeting minutes from January 16th, 2024. The committee's action is sought to approve the minutes as presented.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Motion by Gorman, second by Haderlein. Comments or questions here? Clerk, call the roll.
Alderwoman Haderlein.
Yes.
Lavallee.
Yes.
Gorman.
Yes.
Perkins.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
Thank you. Item number 5 is the Administration Committee meeting minutes from February 8th, 2024. The committee's action to approve the minutes as presented.
Make a motion to approve the Administration Committee meeting minutes.
I'll second.
Have a motion by Haderlein, second by Perkins. Comments or questions here? Clerk, call the roll.
Alderman Carncross.
Yes.
Gorman.
Yes.
Perkins.
Yes.
Haderlein.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
Thank you. Item number 6 is the Community Development Committee meeting minutes from February 12th, 2025. Committee action is requested to approve the minutes as presented.
I make a motion to approve the Community Development Committee meetings, February 12th.
I second it.
I have a motion by Luna, second by Lancaster. Any comments or questions here? Hear none. Clerk, call the roll.
Alderman Carncross.
Yes.
Lancaster.
Yes.
Luna.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
All right, item 7 is a consent agenda, item 7A through 7Q. Is there any item that City Council wishes to remove from the consent agenda? Hearing none, clerk call a roll. Or, I'm sorry, I'll accept the motion to accept the consent agenda as presented.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Carncross, second by Haderlein. Any comments or questions here? Clerk, call a roll.
Alderman Carncross.
Yes.
Lancaster.
Yes.
Gorman.
Yes.
Perkins.
Yes.
Luna.
Yes.
Haderlein.
Yes.
Lavallee.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
Thank you. Item number 8 is dispensed with since nothing was removed from the consent agenda. Item number 9 is seeking your action to approve the payment of the bills in the amount of $198,871.49.
Make a motion to approve the payment of the bills.
I'll second.
A motion by Haderlein, second by Gorman. Any comments or questions here? Hearing none, clerk call a roll.
Yes.
Yes.
Haderlein.
Yes.
Lavallee.
Yes.
Carncross.
Yes.
Lancaster.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
Thank you. Item number 10 is the appointment and oath of office to fill a vacancy on the Planning and Zoning Commission. Your actions to request to approve Mayor Kelly's recommendation to appoint Elvis Patnaud to fill the vacancy on the Planning and Zoning Commission, whose term would expire in April of 2027.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
I have a motion by Perkins, second by Haderlein. Any comments or questions here? Hearing none, clerk call the roll.
Perkins.
Yes.
Luna.
Yes.
Haderlein.
Yes.
Lavallee.
Yes.
Carncross.
Yes.
Lancaster.
Yes.
Gorman.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
Thank you. Elvis is here. If you come up and the city clerk will swear you in.
So the mic picks it up.
I think you'll have to do it in front of the podium over there. Yes. Can you take a photo? Here, you can use mine.
That's the first time I've seen Elvis without a hat.
Deb, do you have your phone? Can you take a photo? Clean the lens. I can do it.
TJ's got it.
DJ's got it. All right.
Okay,
You're off the hook.
raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, Elvis Elvis Patnod,
I, Elvis Patnod,
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties as a member
the duties as a member
of the Planning and Zoning Commission
of the Planning and Zoning Commission
for the City of Harvard
for the City of Harvard
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Elvis, for stepping up to serve in that capacity. We certainly appreciate it. Item number 11 is the Planning and Zoning Commission's recommendation from February 6, 2024. The commission recommends approval of the petition by Alfredo Bahena, Gator and New and Used Auto Parts LLC, who is the petitioner, and John Stricker, who is the property owner. The petitioner is seeking a conditional use to operate an auto parts recycling business at 10 South Jefferson Street, and will require the city council action to approve, modify, or reject the commission's request. Is the, could you step up to the podium? The petitioner is here. You state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Alfredo Baena, and I am 10 South Jefferson.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Any questions for the petitioner from the chamber, from the council?
I asked a question before. Is that that company, is that a franchise?
No, it's not.
Okay,
It's
so
family
you're
owned.
the only one using that?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay.
Any other comments, questions? Hear none, I would hear a motion to approve.
I'll motion to approve.
Second?
I have a motion from Carncross, second by Lancaster. Any further comments or questions? Hearing none, clerk call the roll.
Alderwoman Luna,
Yes.
Haderlein,
Yes.
Lavallee,
Yes.
Carncross,
Yes.
Lancaster,
Yes.
Gorman,
Yes?
Perkins.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries. Ordinance 2024-105.
Okay, you're good to go. The clerk will get you a copy of the ordinance in the next day or so. And good luck with your business.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to Harvard.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 12 is a resolution regarding the CMAP's report entitled Plan of Action for Regional Transit, known as PART. Your action is requested to adopt the resolution as presented.
I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution.
I'll second.
I have a motion from Gorman and second by Carncross. Any other comments or questions on this issue? Hearing none, clerk call a roll.
Alderwoman Haderlein,
Yes.
Lavallee,
Yes.
Carncross,
Yes.
Lancaster,
Yes.
Gorman,
Yes?
Perkins,
Yes.
Luna.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
Thank you. Item number 13 is the Mayor's Monarch Pledge. The Mayor's Monarch Pledge supports the National Wildlife Federation initiative to create habitat for pollinators. Your action is requested to approve the pledge commitment for 2024. I believe this will be our third year.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Have a motion by Perkins and second by Haderlein. Any questions or comments here? Hearing none, clerk call roll.
Alderman Lavallee,
Yes.
Carncross,
Yes.
Lancaster,
Yes.
Gorman,
Yes?
Perkins,
Yes.
Luna,
Yes.
Haderlein.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
Okay, item number 14 is the strategic vision that the city council and also our staff had worked on earlier in the fall. We're now ready to adopt that, but we do have Eric Denegry, who came here, who helped us facilitate this, and we just want to do a public run-through of the highlights of our strategic vision.
Sure.
So I'm going to scroll down here to the appropriate page. Eric, could you
Thanks,
state
Mayor.
your name and address for the record, please?
Yeah, my name's Eric Dregney. I'm from 408 Park Avenue, Galena, Illinois.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me back. It was a pleasure to work with Mayor, Council, and all the staff to update your plan from a few years back. And I'll kind of hit the highlights. I'm not going to read the plan to you tonight. Hopefully you've had a chance to look it over. I know you all have had a chance to look it over through multiple drafts, so excited to get here. If you want to just go to the first page, the thing I would call out here is really just what this thing is for anybody in the public that isn't familiar with why these plans matter. This first paragraph is really designed to get at that. So this is a guide for mayor and council members who maybe, get elected in a future election in the middle of this plan to be able to come on board and see where the mayor and council and staff and the city are going. What is the direction that they've laid out, and what plan are they acting against? So it's a nice way to build continuation and alignment over time among councils. And at the same time, you'll see when you read through this, it doesn't limit a future council from acting in a different way if they want to. The vision and mission are just designed to sort of when you read the vision statement, you're putting yourself there, standing in Harvard in 2040 and looking around and seeing that this is what the community ought to look like at that point in time. So it's really putting yourself out there in the future and saying this is where we want to be by that period of time. And the mission statement and the vision rather becomes your purpose for the whole thing. This is why we have a city government. This is the purpose for what we're all working for, is to make Harvard a place like that. The mission statement talks about how Harvard works as a city government. So the idea that it's an efficient, innovative, inclusive organization and so on. These are the types of things you should expect from your city government in terms of how they act. And this time around, we also added an inclusive community statement, where making a statement as the city of Harvard saying how we value inclusivity and the beliefs around and policies around that. We can go to the next page. This just kind of calls out the focus areas in a little bit of a fun way. So this whole plan is designed around these focus areas: infrastructure, safe community, efficient government, a vibrant downtown, a thriving economy, housing and neighborhoods, arts and culture, and parks and recreation. So through the rest of the plan, you'll see there's about a page devoted to each one of those focus areas. We can go to one of those pages. Strong, reliable infrastructure. And each of these pages, by the way, as you're looking at the plan and understanding how it's laid out, the first paragraph is the result that you're trying to achieve as a community. So this idea that when it comes to infrastructure, we're thinking about facilities, the natural environment, the built environment, water treatment, roads, sidewalks. It's a big, this is a big one. There's a lot of responsibility for the city in this area. Then you'll see there are key strategies that the city is committing to work on over the next 2 to 3 years. And by the way, the whole plan, you'll see there were dates on it, 24 to 27. The vision might be 2040, but these are the steps we're taking towards that vision in the first 2 or 3 years. So in the case of infrastructure, you'll see a lot of focus here on that hardscape infrastructure, along with things like public transportation and even improving or establishing downtown wireless. So there's a lot in that package. And then in each case, in each page, we laid out progress milestones so that you can all keep track of where you are. You should be seeing an infrastructure plan in place by 25. You should see street improvements increasing by the beginning of 25, right? And so on. So you can see what the milestones are and where you're headed in the case of infrastructure. And in safe community, the conversation here was, certainly about crime and policing and those types of things, but it was also about emergency management and making sure that you've got strong systems to support Harvard and alerting citizens in a way that's inclusive and not just relying on maybe a single app and those sorts of things. So these are the types of ideas that council talked about and placed in the plan when we looked at this one. Efficient, effective government, everybody wants that. Governments are run on our money as citizens, right? And so we want to make sure everybody's doing their best with it. So it is certainly about managing resources well, but it's also about communicating. You'll see a lot of strategies around, translation and improving technology and online services, making sure that staff matrices are thought through again, and that there's a good succession planning model. So it's more than just, are we managing the budget effectively? There's a lot of other resources to pay attention to, and communication with the public is a huge part of everybody feeling like their government is effective. We can go to the next one, thriving economy. So this one was about, primarily about growing the economy in Harvard and continuing to build on some of the success you've been having in recent years, but also maybe going a step further and adopting an economic development plan, digging into how to best retain and develop existing business, creating even possibly an advisory board, right, that could help the city work on this. You've had other structures in the past, so this is taking a new approach and kind of maybe coming back to having this as a focus that's in-house to the city versus an external board or committee. So those are some of the differences, I would say, this time versus maybe other plans or approaches that you've taken in the past. And then there are great milestones. If you see these things improving in that milestone category, you're going to be pretty happy with the economy here in Harvard. On the next page, we think about housing in neighborhoods. This is really getting at the idea of making improvements to neighborhoods that maybe need a little more support, and also understanding where those areas are. So having a housing stock and residential land inventory, so we can think about how do we develop Harvard and housing in Harvard in the future, but also on the other side, what about all the existing housing, and is it in good condition, and how can we help residents find ways to maintain their neighborhoods and their homes, and find responsibility in that. And so this was sort of thinking about what is the city's role as a partner in helping community members do that. Vibrant downtown is really, how do we get downtown to maybe be vibrant like it was, back in the day, right? So we want shops and businesses. We want upper stories filled with residential spaces. We want our downtown to feel like things are happening there, and it's a place where people can gather, people can come to for events, people can find good restaurants, good shopping, all of those types of things. So this really focuses on that through the main idea of creating a downtown master plan. And this would be something that you would maybe pursue over a year or two, and really mapping out what are the assets in your downtown, where are there challenges that you need to address, and then maybe creating a 10-year plan out of that you can start to work on. That's probably the big thread that's in here, along with just things like Wi-Fi access and those sorts of things. Let's see, arts and culture. So this was, this was kind of an interesting conversation, I recall. It was sort of, thinking about what is the city's role in supporting arts and culture. How do we make sure that we're doing it in a way that makes sense and is equitable? And so, the strategies that came out of this were really around developing a clear way for the community to know what to expect from the city, and the city to be able to communicate, in reverse and say, these are the kinds of things we're willing to support. We think it's great if other things happen, but just kind of finding, sort of our lane, as you might say, as a city government, as it relates to arts and culture. So developing clear policies and practices for supporting cultural events, right? An obvious strategy based on what I just said. But also thinking about maybe the city's role is more about creating spaces and places for art and culture to happen, right? And supporting those kinds of things. So the key strategies and milestones sort of point the council and the city overall in that direction. Last page? No, Parks and Recreation. I went one too far. You guys have just a tremendous number of assets when it comes to parks, right? You've got for a town this size, tons of parks, tons of acreage. It's a lot to get your arms around and take care of. And so this was really about leveraging that funding that has recently been supported to bring our parks up to par that we have, and reviewing the master plan to make sure that we're looking at, do we have a process to make sure we do that continuously now going to the future and we don't let them lag. Finding ways to partner to improve programming and exploring the idea of more indoor spaces. We have a lot of outdoor space in Harvard. This winter aside, today's not a great day to make the pitch for the fact that we need more indoor spaces, but tomorrow will be. And so tomorrow is going to be a great day to be inside. So, this was around the idea of, okay, we have these great amenities, and this can be a real draw and a reason for people to come to Harvard to visit, to live, to play, and maybe to stay, right? And so this whole page is really about getting the city to think about and map out a plan for doing that well, at the same time that you're bringing everything you have up to where you really want it to be. So that was a really interesting and rich conversation that we had around that page. And then it just ends with who did this plan and how we got there. So that's the plan.
Thank you very much, Eric. Any questions for Eric?
Great.
Appreciate that overview.
Thanks.
And your help in guiding us through the process.
Yeah, of course. My pleasure.
All right. Council, I'll accept the motion to accept the plan and implement as desired.
Make a motion to accept the strategic plan as presented.
I second the motion.
Okay, I have a motion by Haderlein, seconded by Luna. Any comments or questions here? Hearing none, clerk call the roll.
Alderman Lavallee,
Yes.
Carncross,
Yes.
Lancaster,
Yes.
Gorman,
Yes.
Perkins,
Yes.
Luna,
Yes.
Haderlein.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
Thank you. All right, moving on to item number 15, which is PFAS water supply class action. So your action is requested to authorize the city administrator and mayor's actions to opt in to the products liability settlement agreements associated with PFAS contamination of drinking water. And so at this time, I'm going to ask our attorney to kind of explain what's happening here.
Thank you. The memo's in the packet. It kind of outlines where we're at. I believe it was last summer when the city retained Sheer Edling to advise the city regarding this national litigation, national class involving a significant number of class participants. It's kind of been a roller coaster ride. As part of a class action, before the settlement goes through, there's essentially a hearing to kind of walk through what the settlement is. Judge makes comments, people involved make comments. Based upon that and the direction provided by the judge at that time, the recommendation from our class council has changed slightly to where we were opting out. Now their advice, the reason for opting out was fear that we were potentially waiving claims against 3M and DuPont that may arise later should there be issues with our drinking water. Our class council is now comfortable that the risk of that is significantly lower, such that they're okay with us opting back in. Previously, there were concerns that we would be waiving those claims, and it just wasn't worth it because the city didn't have contamination at that time, so it didn't make sense to opt in when we weren't going to get anything, and then we were potentially waiving claims. By opting in, now we will get money for testing, and if ultimately our water is contaminated, there is a pool of funds that would be available for us to access. So at this point in time, the class council is okay with us opting back in.
Questions?
Make a motion that we opt back into the PFAS class action suit.
I'll second.
A motion by Haderlein, a second by Carncross to opt back into the PFAS water supply class action lawsuit. Any comments or questions here? Hearing none, clerk call the roll.
Alderman Carncross,
Yes.
Lancaster,
Yes.
Gorman,
Yes.
Perkins,
Yes.
Luna,
Yes.
Haderlein,
Yes.
Lavallee.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
Thank you. Item number 16 is the Shadow Creek Development LLC Development Agreement. Your action is requested to approve an agreement with Shadow Creek Development LLC to reduce building permit fee to $5,500 per home with 4 homes built in 2 years and authorizing the mayor's execution of this agreement. Should note that this is a similar agreement with some of the other developers that we have done, except we are slowly increasing that price as we're getting more and more houses built.
Just to add in, Donavan and I looked this over after proposing the agreement with Foxtail, and that fee would have been $6,600. Instead, we kept it at $4,200, I believe. So that just so you a reference point that we are slowly, now that we're seeing more demand, we're slowly raising our fees back up, so we're not eating as much in costs.
So we're, risk of sounding stupid, but where would these houses be built?
This will be on the northwest end of town, out past where the mayor lives. We're talking eventually.
Is it in?
I believe this is Shadow Creek.
No, it's Shadow Creek Developer.
Oh, it's Oak Grove. Well,
Okay,
then there's an
that's-
error in the, I see. So,
Okay, that's,
so the actual housing will be done in Oak Grove Crossing,
Okay.
but the
Okay.
Shadow Creek Development LLC is the
okay,
developer.
that's,
I
yeah,
just-
that
I
was.
spent a half an
yeah.
hour trying to figure that out.
Apologize, that one missed me, so, okay.
Same development that did Shadow Creek or a different name?
No, different.
I mean,
And
Pretty
they
tricky.
have
Yeah.
19, and just so you know, they have 19 lots out there, and we struck a deal with them to limit the contract to 2 years and 5 houses at a time, whereas they wanted something a lot longer. We're not comfortable with committing the fees that low for that amount of time.
Only other thing is, refresh my memory, because it's usually 9,000. So is it like every permit just getting reduced to get to 5,500, or what is?
I'm sorry, I was mentioning something over to the mayor. Can you repeat that?
Because the initial cost would have been 9,000, the full, if you pay all the permits, per the notes in the agenda packet. And it's down to 5,500, so we reducing sections of each permit cost, or is it, or what permits?
Yeah, there's some parts of like inspection fees and that we've waived in the past, but we're, again, slowly but surely bringing it back up.
Okay.
And just one little correction, because I got a little note from Donovan over there. It's actually supposed to be 4 homes, if that was mentioned correctly.
It was
and not
4
5.
homes built in
Okay.
2 years.
So I spoke 5.
And $5,500 per home. So people can hear.
So I'll just repeat that. The fees are going to be going for the tap-on, the water sewer tap-on, and parks. which in the past, we've cut down into that. I mean, we're talking previous agreements. We're trying to make sure we don't do that going forward.
And just for the council's edification, the Oak Grove Crossing neighborhood has, I'm not sure how many buildable lots that are ready to build on, but I think it's in the neighborhood of 50-ish, 40 to 50, something in that neighborhood. So there's one house that is currently under construction in the neighborhood, which is getting close to being finished, I believe. At least they've had siding on it now. And but there hasn't been anything built in there for a couple of years, so we're waiting for that to be. You have a comment you would like to make, you can come up to the podium and state your name and address for the record, please.
Jay Wolf, 800 Lincoln Street. Just a quick question. What's the projected retail cost of these homes going to be? How affordable are they going to be? $275,000?
So, yeah, so it's recorded, it's 275,000.
I'm just curious.
Projected.
So I noticed in the memo, it indicates that, there's potential for two extensions for an additional 4 homes per 2-year period for a total of 12.
That's
So is
correct.
that automatic extension? And
No, that
is-
was supposed to be struck from the agreement.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not in
It's
the
not in the
agreement, it's in
agreement,
the memo, that was not removed from the memo.
Okay,
That's
thank
an
you.
error on our part.
So if they wanted to do it again, they would have to come back.
That's correct. It would be a new contract or a
Okay.
new agreement at that point.
And likewise, if fees have risen in the meantime, we could reflect in the new contract moving forward.
I think the original, our request was to do 12 over a 6-year period, and that, if we had signed such an agreement, they could build all 12 in the last 6 years and do nothing for 6 years, and we wanted to ensure that there was continuous building, so.
One more thing, and kudos to Ann for really pushing Brian to get down here to build, because he is building the same exact style and model just across the border for $100,000 more, so it's a good test market for him here. He had that house under contract within a week of getting his permit, so he's excited to be back down here building.
What's your pleasure?
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Have a motion by Carncross, second by Gorman. Any other comments or questions here? Hearing none, clerk call the roll.
Alderwoman Lancaster,
Yes.
Gorman,
Yes.
Perkins,
Yes.
Luna,
Yes.
Haderlein,
Yes.
Lavallee,
Yes.
Carncross.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 17 is a zoning map update. Your actions requested to approve the proposed ordinance adopting the 2024 zoning map and authorizing the city clerk to publish in the Northwest Herald.
I'll make that motion.
What exactly is this change?
That little lot on Airport,
Yeah, no, I saw the picture in the packet. That's the only thing it changes?
So,
Mm-hmm. What
so
we voted on last year.
we voted last year to change it to,
yes.
we did, okay. Thank you, ma'am.
This is correcting the map.
Okay, thank you. I'll second.
All right, we have a motion by Perkins, second by Haderlein. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, clerk call the roll.
Alderman Gorman,
Yes.
Perkins,
Yes.
Luna,
Yes.
Haderlein,
Yes.
Lavallee,
Yes.
Carncross.
Yes.
Lancaster.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries. Ordinance 2024-106.
All right, thank you. Item number 18 is the Administration Committee recommendation for the Water Tower Program. Your action is requested to approve the committee's recommendation to enter into a contract with McGuire Iron for a 10-year water tower asset management program, recognizing that we received information tonight and you have the opportunity to kick this back to committee or approve as presented.
Well, I would make a motion to send it back to admin committee.
I'll second that.
So a motion by Haderlein and a second by
Lancaster to send this back to committee for review. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none?
Why?
What are we gonna review exactly? What are we reviewing?
Well, whether we want to proceed
I get it.
with
but-
this, or do we want to seek new bids?
But
I mean, the only thing that I would say is that, I mean, if there's concerns about certifications, et cetera, you know, with the program, and we just want to make sure our conscience is clear on that, I mean, we could send it back for review for those specific circumstances. I'm sure city staff can look into those and ask questions and make sure that if that's something that is a concern, we can review that. It doesn't matter to me.
I agree. If there's something that's not right, illegal or something like that, we just need to make sure that we address that in the contract.
Yeah.
But the plan is solid. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, you have a motion and a second to send back to committee. So I'd recommend voting on that motion. If you want to make a motion thereafter, then that's up to you.
Okay. Well,
Do you have any other comments, questions on this motion? Clerk, call the roll for a motion to send the issue back to committee.
Alderman Perkins.
Yes.
Luna.
Yes.
Haderlein.
Yes?
Lavallee.
no.
Carncross.
Yes.
Lancaster.
Yes.
Gorman.
no.
Motion is approved, 5-2.
Okay, we'll send this back to the administration committee, and Lisa, later we can call that committee for date. Okay.
In the meantime, just really quick, in the meantime, I would say that direct city staff to just check in on this so they can bring that to the committee. We can get it through and then get it back.
Just so you know, after, when I stepped away from the table, I went and shared my information so I can contact that gentleman directly.
Okay.
And then I can, in the meantime, reach out to McGuire Iron and either get something written in, some assurances that this won't be an issue, one way or another, and then bring it back to the admin committee.
Because, yeah, at the very least, the contract is going to need to be revised to make sure that, I think, to make sure that
Possibly. I
it's-
mean,
yeah.
nobody had any issue with the terms as far as what they were offering in the program, the costs and all that. But if there's any concerns on the certifications or anything that we need to be aware of,
performance and.
I just want to make sure we have all of that
Yeah,
in
things
front of
like-
us so we can vote up or down.
I think what the issue has been voted on. We're going back to committee, so if you have anything which say you could come to the committee to state those issues. And then I think our council can review the contract.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Item number 19 then is the Administration Committee recommendation, lead water service line inventory replacement program.
I'll make that motion
I'll second.
to approve.
I have a motion by Perkins and second by Carncross.
To approve.
To approve the lead water service line inventory replacement program. I think we should read what's written here. So, the proposal from Christopher B. Burke Engineering to assist the city in completing the lead water service line material inventory and to develop the initial lead water service line replacement plan at a cost of $32,636. The 50% upfront cost will be paid through the Water Sewer Tap-On Fund to be replaced when the grant funds are received. We now have a motion by Perkins, second by Carncross. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, clerk call a roll.
Alderwoman Luna.
Yes.
Haderlein.
Yes.
Lavallee.
Yes.
Carncross.
Yes.
Lancaster.
Yes.
Gorman.
Yes.
Perkins.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
Thank you. Item number 20 is Administration Committee recommendation for Milky Way Park Pit Pump. Your action is requested to approve the committee's recommendations to move forward with the Milky Way Park Pit Pump project
with Hartwig Mechanical in the amount of $32,515. This should increase the capacity of the bathrooms in Milky Way Park.
I'll make a motion to approve the admin committee's recommendation to move forward with the Milky Way Park pit pump project with Hartwig Mechanical in the amount of $32,515.
I'll second.
Motion by Haderlein, second by Perkins. Any comments or questions here? Hearing none, clerk call the roll.
Alderwoman Haderlein,
Yes.
Lavallee,
Yes.
Carncross,
Yes.
Lancaster,
Yes.
Gorman,
Yes.
Perkins,
Yes.
Luna.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
Thank you. Item number 21 is the Administration Committee recommendation for surplus property. Your actions requested to approve the committee's recommendation to adopt the proposed ordinance declaring surplus property.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Carncross, second by Haderlein. Any comments or questions here? Hearing none, clerk call the roll.
Alderman Lavallee,
Yes.
Carncross,
Yes.
Lancaster,
Yes.
Gorman,
Yes.
Perkins,
Yes.
Luna.
Yes.
Haderlein.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries. Ordinance 2024-107.
Okay, item number 22 is the Administration Committee's recommendation for city clerk appointed position. Your action is requested to approve the committee's recommendation to adopt the resolution authorizing a binding public question on the November 5th, 2024 general election ballot on the question of appointing the City of Harvard clerk. So we're seeking to go from an elected position to an appointed position.
Make a motion that we approve the recommendation to adopt resolution authorizing a binding public question on the November 5th, 2024 general election ballot on the question of appointing the City of Harvard clerk.
We should put that should be in there, that date.
Go ahead.
I'll second that motion.
Have a motion by Haderlein, second by Lancaster. Councilors pointed out in the resolution, under the box, we need to actually include the effective date, which is the end, well, it would be the consolidated election of next year, and the term ends April 30th of 2025.
Okay.
Okay, so that's what I have and what you have in your packet to sign.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
All right, we have a motion by Haderlein, second by Lancaster. Any comments or questions?
Yeah, I just got a question. I did read through the packet, and you pointed out a bunch of upsides, but what are the downsides?
So, in my estimation, the downsides could be that the mayor seeks to appoint someone that you wouldn't want appointed, but those appointments are ratified by the city council, so that's your check and balance. I don't know that there's any other downsides. Counselor, do you have any other cons to this proposal?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head. Obviously, you're going from allowing the public to elect the person to allowing the mayor and city council to decide it. Some people may view that as a negative, but I think that's why it goes to a referendum to let those people decide if they want to do it or if they, are okay with this body doing it.
The one thing I just wanted to point out to answer your question is, one of the downsides is, and it was mentioned in my memo, was that the clerk right now, being an elected position, is reflective of the community, whereas as an appointed position, it could be anybody or somebody just outside the city limits. And you are breaking from tradition at that point. It was asked at the committee, and I responded in an email, that in McHenry County, there's 28 municipalities, and 16 of them have already gone to an appointed city clerk.
And can I ask, Lori, what do you feel about this?
I think it's a wise decision. much of your day-to-day duties of the city clerk are already being done by staff. Many of your communities that have an elected city clerk also have a staff member that is their deputy city clerk. So I think it makes sense. I think it's a good move.
Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, clerk call the roll.
Alderman Lavallee.
Yes.
Carncross.
Yes.
Lancaster.
Yes.
Gorman.
Yes.
Perkins.
Yes.
Luna. Yes. Haderlein.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
Thank you. Item number 23. So the Community and Economic Development is making a recommendation to change the city logo. Your action is requested to approve the recommendation to adopt the new city logo. And I will scroll down to see what we can find in here.
Motion to approve the redesigned city logo.
I second that.
We have a motion by Carncross and a second by Luna. Are there any comments or questions on this?
I just want to voice that I agree with Deb. I like the other option that doesn't have the plane.
Well, we are going for that regional airport.
Yeah, biplanes, yeah.
Just as a reminder to the general public as well, that the logo that you see before you, the cow represents the dairy history, and also ties into Milk Day. The airport, or the airplane that you see up there actually represents the aviation history that's here. Dacey Airport has been here since 1935, I believe. So it's tying into Harvard's history while trying to solidify a nice, presentable logo moving forward.
And I did want to point out and give the staff and committee a lot of kudos for coming up with some good options in a very cost-effective way by working with McHenry County College, correct? Yeah, and that the city of Woodstock just spent about $90,000 on a logo that was described, well, I won't repeat it, but yeah.
So the general public knows.
This is very nice.
We spent $300 to purchase that design, or the original design, and we had an individual that donated their time to tweak it with the many different requests we've had. And then there's an additional $200 that are going to be split up between the two MCC students that submitted some very good runner-ups.
Which I believe we get to keep those as well for use later if we choose to.
We purchase those rights, so
yeah.
we can use them down the road.
Right. I was just going to say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very pretty blue color. Yeah, I like the blue color.
Armelda does look like she was tweaked.
She's a much younger cow now.
Female cow.
Any other comments or questions?
I don't know. Just throwing it out there.
Hearing none, clerk call the roll.
Alderman Carncross.
Yes.
Lancaster.
Yes.
Gorman.
Yes.
Perkins.
Yes.
Luna.
Yes.
Haderlein.
Yes.
Lavallee.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
All right, thank you, clerk. Item number 24 is the Community and Economic Development Committee recommendation for an RFP, request for proposal, for internet feasibility study. Your action is requested to approve the committee's recommendation to approve the RFP as proposed.
Just for clarification, what was the time frame on when we would expect to have the RFPs back?
We'll submit it out there for 30 days, and the draft you have in front of you does not have the timeline in there.
Okay.
It was subject whether or not it was going to be approved or sent back to the committee. So the one tweak to it is I'll add the timeline in there.
Okay. I'm just curious, so I know kind of in the back of my mind when to expect to start seeing stuff back for review.
It could go out as early as tomorrow, and we'll start the clock for 30 days.
So this was in response to the proposal that we had from a company to do this last year, and that we had said we should actually be requesting do a request for proposals.
Right, this is so that it's a nice, clean environment, so we're not, so anybody who submits has to identify whether or not they're actually representing
Yep.
in some way, shape, or form a construction crew that does internet.
Yep, great. Thank you.
It's attempt to try and find a transparent,
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
recommendation.
Not someone that's just doing a
Yes.
study to do the work.
win business for
Yes,
their,
yes.
you know, constituent or whatever
Yeah.
the company they're working for.
Yeah,
Correct.
no, This looks great. And I'd make a motion that we approve the committee's recommendation for the
I'll second
RFP.
I'll second that motion.
So I have a motion by Haderlein, second by Gorman to approve the RFP to be published as submitted, with the exception of including a timeline. Any other comments or questions? Clerk, call the roll.
Alderwoman Lancaster,
Yes.
Gorman,
Yes.
Perkins.
Yes.
Luna,
Yes.
Haderlein,
Yes?
Lavallee.
Yes.
Carncross.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
Thank you. Item number 25 is a park board recommendation for the soccer field landscaping. Your action is requested to approve this park board's recommendation and move forward with the soccer field landscaping by Summerview Landscapes Incorporated in the amount of $6,300. This is to update the soccer fields at Milky Way Park.
Now, was this the same project that previously there'd been some very expensive proposal for?
In fact,
Yeah, please.
Yes, so the initial estimates was anywhere from $400,000 to $700,000, and we were able to get the work suitable to have a soccer tournament for $6,300.
Yeah.
What's
great.
the difference from the 400,000 to 6,300?
It was essentially stadium. I'm trying to be a little less pointed like that, but yes, the other one was essentially modifying the soccer fields to a standard that we can't afford right now. And that's a lot of money to invest in a soccer tournament. That's the first one that we're trying to have. So in talking with Nick and Jose, they reached out to their friends to see, the people they know, to see if they can come in and donate a lot of their time, and then this is more or less material. And to get the soccer field or the soccer tournament up and running. Down the road, we hope that anything that we make above our costs will in turn be put into the capital improvement fund to then in the next budget year come back out and go towards improving those fields even more.
I make a motion to approve the soccer field landscaping with Summerview Landscape.
I'll second.
A motion by Luna, a second by Carncross, to accept the recommendation moving forward with landscaping for $6,300 with Summerview Landscape Incorporated. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, clerk call the roll.
Alderman Gorman,
Yes.
Perkins,
Yes.
Luna,
Yes.
Haderlein,
Yes?
Lavallee,
Yes.
Carncross,
Yes.
Lancaster.
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
Thank you. Item 26 is the Park Board recommendation for a fee waiver request. The Harvard Junior Hornets Soccer is a nonprofit youth sports organization. They're requesting a waiver of park fees. Your action is requested to approve or deny the request.
I'll make that motion and approve.
Second.
Motion by Perkins, second by Lancaster. Any other comments or questions here?
Didn't we, I mean, this is just out of my own curiosity, because I'm trying to remember, didn't we change it so that so that the mayor could automatically approve, or was that Was that on something else? I think we were trying to approve for like nonprofits. Special event, okay, that's
Yes.
what, now it's coming back to me, as you said, okay.
So the
I
boys
just-
league and girls league, then they
Yeah.
have to, be
Special
late
liquor
every year.
license in the parks
Okay.
is what that was.
I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't something that I was misremembering, because clearly I was, but I just want to make sure.
All right, any other comments or questions? Hearing none, clerk call the roll.
Alderman Perkins?
Yes.
Luna?
Yes.
Haderlein?
Yes.
Lavallee?
Yep.
Carncross?
Yes.
Lancaster?
Yes.
Gorman?
Yes.
All ayes, motion carries.
Thank you. We had a big slate of business tonight, so. Item number 27 is department head reports. We'll start over here, Chief. Come to the podium, please.
Okay, lots been happening in the last couple weeks. Unfortunately, I received a resignation letter for Sergeant Tobias. He will be leaving us effective March 10th to join the Sheriff's Department. Due to that vacancy of the sergeant's position, our next person on the sergeant's promotional list is Detective C. He has accepted, and he will be sworn in as a sergeant on Monday, March 11th. Obviously, that then opens the vacancy for the detective position, so I have posted that internally for guys in the department to submit and go through the interview and selection process for that.
That also opens up a spot as well that you have to fill
Correct.
on the list.
Yep, that was my next thing in the thing. So obviously that means that we have a new hire to replace that empty position on the department. I've gone through several individuals on the list. One has accepted, and I'm meeting with him Thursday to go over everything preliminarily with him to start the background. And that leaves one eligible person on the list, so I have a police commission meeting on Friday to go over the new testing process for a new hire for a possible replacement later in the year. I'll leave that up to you. Other than that, Mayor, report is submitted.
All right, thank you. DC, you got something then?
I don't have much. We have 2 squad cars that are coming that we ordered for this fiscal year. Last I heard, they were accounted for. They know where they're at. But they were supposed to be here in January, if not early February, and alas, it is February 27th. So hopefully those will be coming in soon. In the interim, while Detective C is being promoted, I'll be probably spearheading a lot of the investigations and some of the investigative duties, liquor licensing and things like that, for the time being, for the interim. So I'll be kind of doing some double duty there. But other than that, I have nothing else to report. I think this is the most I've ever said during a city council meeting.
City council, yes.
So, but no, nothing else to report. So.
Thank you. Rob?
Pretty much, report is submitted. We've been out doing the potholes and taking care of the streets as time allows. The weather's been weird. We did hold secondary interviews for our open position at Public Works today. We have 1 left tomorrow. I think we'd be good to go on any of the candidates that we've interviewed so far. They did interact with the staff fairly well. Other than that, I just wanted to thank council for the support and lead service line inventory. The grant opened up and we were able to be poised for a submittal. So, thank you very much.
Thank you. I saw a ton of potholes filled in close near here, 5th Street for sure, and such. So I'm sure our residents appreciate that. So thank you. Ann?
Report is submitted, and talked with Brian Tracy, Shadow Creek Development LLC last week, and he's ready to pull 2 more permits for his houses. So I'm pretty excited with all the building that we have going on out of nowhere. It's exciting.
Thank you. Donavan?
Thank you, Mayor, City Council. Report is submitted. We did do an inspection today for the 2 Habitat for Humanity homes on...
It's in Autumn Glen, but I know.
Glen, I was trying to, Lonesome Road.
Down?
That's the street, yeah.
Forest Downs, I think.
Forest Downs, thank you. They're all getting mixed up in my head now. And then Ann just completed her 2nd day today of training on the 2021 International Residential Building Code. So the goal is for her to test this year and get her certification, and that's what we've been ramping up for, is more building inspections and on top of code enforcement, so, and that's it.
And is live permitting live yet?
No,
Online?
we're going to do an additional training next week on our end on how to input permits, and the contractor company is working with Invoice Cloud currently to get online permits set up. So we're waiting for that to be completed before we throw it on the website and start that process.
All right.
We're getting there.
We're close.
We're close.
We're close. All right, very good. Thank you. Moving on to committee reports. Dan, you have anything tonight?
Meeting this next month. I don't remember exactly what would be on
Yeah.
discussion with Jay, but he's not here tonight, so we'll have to try to figure something. Sorry.
You have a date you want to set?
No, because Jay's not here, and so I don't want to set anything in stone just yet, so I'd say we would just reach out to him when he gets back from his vacation and try to put something together, but I do remember that there was something we were discussing that needed to be on there.
Okay.
I just don't remember exactly what it was, because we covered so much in the last meeting.
I can't recall, but we can certainly communicate to the committee, after the meeting. We'll send out, do by email to select a date.
Yeah, I just want to make sure we do that, so that was all I had.
Okay, thank you. John?
I don't have anything more.
Thank you. Lisa?
Admin needs to schedule a meeting for March. Normally, let's see, our normal date would be Matt. You're usually on top of that. The 13th.
Yes, that's fine.
Okay.
March 13th would be the normal one.
Time?
6:30?
Normal time, yes.
Okay.
March what?
13th.
13th.
Okay, March 13th at 6:30. Anything else?
And we'll have, just to review, we've got chickens and the water tower contract, and then looks like FOP equipment donation.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Anything else?
No.
All right. Rosa?
No, I don't have
Nothing
any.
tonight? Matt?
The only one thing I wanted to ask, I don't know how, I just know with the admin committee, that's personnel, isn't it? Just more, and being on the committee, I just want to be more up to date on things, like call me off guard with the bias going, but the only reason why I knew something was going on is because saw a thing on social media, for even the chief told us tonight that there was a promotion. And unfortunately, as being a first responder, I know there's only a couple ways of getting promoted. Someone's leaving or retiring, or someone unfortunately got dismissed. So, the stuff like that, and just other things that's happened in the last month as well. I just kind of want to, and I was told we were going to have a closed session about this tonight, and I didn't see it on the agenda. So, just more, I wish the admin was more aware of what's going on with personnel.
Well, I believe you haven't met since that issue took place, and so tonight was the first opportunity.
Well, there was
to
no
instruct-
email sent out to city council saying, hey, so-and-so has resigned, put their letter in.
I think we can do that, but it's reported in the chief's report, which is the official report to the city council.
So when Ryan put in his letter of resignation, we got that before it got sent out to his social media that they're looking for, stuff like that. So it's more for us, I think, to know ahead of time. And we're not caught off guard as well.
No problem. I think the city administrator can take note of that and issue out
We'll make sure.
notification. Anything else?
Not this time, thank you.
Okay. Charlie?
Well, I think we need to schedule a transportation meeting for the month, and Jay brought up a situation on Front Street. I think it's where Starline is, that there's still problems with parking, so we have to revisit that. And then we'd like to talk about the post office a little bit and where we are with that. And then also, I just need to go over the plan for this year on what we want to accomplish on the, what's the right word?
Rejuvenation and skip patching.
Right, and skip patching and so on, just to see where those places are. And so that would be that's what I have so far for the meeting. And but we need to schedule something. Hopefully we can do it tonight. I am as open as I always am, which is pretty open. Any preferences?
I can't do the Wednesday after our admin, which is the 20th, or the 14th. Those are red shifts. I'll be at work.
Can we do something next week? Or is that too soon?
Like the 6th?
Like,
Wednesday the 6th?
5th or the 6th or the 7th?
6th or 7th I'm okay with.
When does Jay get back? Oh, okay.
Next week yeah, I'm okay. Can we get our stuff put together for then? There's some information I think we're gonna need to get from Gary, probably. Do you think that'll work?
I think we have preliminarily the areas. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think he has to be there. But just get all the information you can from him. Okay, 6th.
6:30?
Yep, 6:30. But check with Jay, I guess, to make sure.
I can't be there, but I'm not on the committee anymore.
What? Oh, I know.
Oh.
Well, I guess I know, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Chief, did you have something to say?
Yeah, Alderman Gorman, just so you're aware, I did receive a complaint a couple weeks ago regarding Front Street, and I did a directed patrol for that area for the guys to check Front Street regarding the parking issues, where the no parking areas were established. And out of the numerous checks, our guys have not noticed anything. However, obviously they can't be there, every hour on the hour or whatever, but it's been checked numerous times with no violations observed by the guys. So.
No, this was, actually, Jay said, this came from Jay. And,
yeah, that's the complaint I'm referring to from him. Yes.
He said that they are legally parked, but it's still a problem.
Oh, okay.
So.
I had the guys checking in the no parking area, so.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's how it's signed, right?
Yeah, it's how it's signed.
Yeah, that it
is the issue. So
Yeah.
that's what we're going to look at. No,
Okay.
he didn't say anything about violations or anything, but.
Oh, I took it as there were violations. The guy's been checking on that.
Well, it sounds like the issue is where the no parking should be, the signs aren't.
Right. The problem is that it still gets narrowed down to one lane is the problem, and that's what we were trying to solve. So that's why we need to relook at it.
There was, if I can jump in, there was something that was discussed at, I believe, one of the late committee meetings prior to winter about painting the curb. And that was right around the time that the weather changed, and it was not the correct temperature for that. So, once we get some consistent warm weather where paint will stick and adhere, we plan to paint the curb. But clarification on where that starts and where that ends would be good.
Yeah.
Lisa, did you say you can't make that day?
I'm no longer on the transportation
Who's
committee.
on the committee with us now?
It would
Jay.
be Jay.
And I'm on Parks.
Just the memo.
Was that today? When did I get sent
We'll be
out?
discussing that under the mayor's
Okay.
report. It was under the consent agenda.
Yeah, you approved it under the consent.
A lot of that stuff is usually just bills and everything, usually, so I'm sorry.
Charlie, you have anything else?
That's it.
Okay. Lori, you have anything tonight?
Nothing further.
All right, thank you. Moving on,
Yeah, when I always saw Jay Wolf and the
treasurer's report.
Wolf Days thing.
business permit program?
Oh, for the community development topic, okay, business permit program, yes.
Jay has a problem with that. Yeah.
Potential, I should say, potential business permit program, okay. Attorney's report.
Nothing further tonight, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Administrator's report.
Report is submitted. The only things I wanted to add is, and I'm glad that the parking situation was brought up. I want to compliment the police department. There was a request to kind of crack down on the 2-hour parking along Air Street. They did a very successful job and kind of got the point across about employees in that who are occupying so much space that customers have to park further down the street. I also want to compliment the police department again and also Public Works that in the last couple of weeks we've had last 3 weeks we've had some graffiti that happened at Lions Park, at Milky Way Park, and Northfield. Thank you. We got a call about each one of them. The police went out right away to do their documentation, and Public Works was very shortly behind them to make sure it's removed. And in one case, the graffiti was actually on the inside, where it's actually kind of hard to see, and they still scrubbed it out. So I want to thank both of their crews for going out and doing that. With the changeover in parks, I want to thank the Parks Board and this council for going kind of hand in hand, not just in the Parks Department or Parks and Rec Department, but also in this last year of going in a new direction to try to spur more growth, to kind of fix our ordinances and codes, and kind of move forward. And that strategic vision highlights that. So I want to thank you all for your vision on that. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Clerk's report.
I just have upcoming meeting dates. March 5th, the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting is canceled due to a lack of agenda items. Transportation Committee is Wednesday the 6th at 6:30. Administration Committee meeting is Wednesday the 13th at 6:30. Next Park Board meeting is Monday, March 18th at 6 p.m. Next regular City Council meeting is Tuesday the 26th at 7 p.m. And that is all I have tonight, Mayor.
All right, thank you. And for the mayor's report, as was approved under the consent agenda, item 7O, the realignment of the Parks and Transportation Committees. So at the request of Jay Schulz, requested to step down as the chairman for the Parks Committee. And in honoring his request, I then spoke with Lisa and asked if Lisa and Jay would be willing to swap committees. So Jay consented to move to the Transportation Committee, and Lisa graciously accepted to move to the Parks Committee. So thank you to both Lisa and Jay. Under Jay's leadership, over the last 7 years or so, the Parks maintenance has significantly increased, and there's been a lot of positive changes happened within our Parks Department. So we certainly thank Alderman Schulz for his time as a chairperson for that committee. Oh yes, thank you for that comment. So under the Parks Committee, John was moved to the chairperson, and Rosa still remains the co-chair under the Parks Committee. And then under the Transportation, Alderman Gorman remains chairperson for Transportation, so thank you. And at some point, we'll be updating our little list here, I think, by next meeting. I'm very pleased with a lot of things that have happened in this last month in terms of community development, ideas about moving forward with park stuff, things that have been happening in Public Works. So we did a lot of work in our committees, and that's reflected by the number of action items that we had on our agenda this evening. So thank you very much for your due diligence in doing all that work. We certainly appreciate it, and our constituents will. So thank you very much. much. I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Perkins, seconded by Carncross. Clerk, call the roll.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Good night.